All right, so example 2, this one isn't taken from your textbook, it's taken from elsewhere, as are the rest of the examples I'll do. So in this one, you've got a container in the shape of a cylinder on top of a hemisphere. Cylinder has radius length of 3. The container has a total height of 15. So that is the overall container, has a height of 15. All right, we are asked to get the volume of the container. So to get the volume of this container, it is volume of the cylinder plus volume of the hemisphere. So volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. So for that cylinder, I have the radius. I don't have the height of just the cylinder. Just be careful with that. That 15 is the overall shape, not just the cylinder. Okay, I'm also going to need to get the volume of the hemisphere. Volume of a hemisphere isn't in the log tables. Volume of a sphere is, and volume of a sphere is 4 over 3 pi r cubed. And then because it's a hemisphere, because it's half a sphere, you just multiply that by a half. Okay, so you can get the answer using the sphere formula and then multiply it by a half at the end. I would say write the multiplied by a half at the start, because you may forget it at the end if your plan is just to get this bit and then multiply by a half at the end. So just write the multiplied by a half up here just so you remember to do it. To get the volume of that hemisphere, anyway, I need the radius of the sphere, which isn't given to me or isn't marked on, but I'll be able to figure that out as well. So if the radius of the cylinder is 3, at the top it's 3 down here at the bottom of the cylinder as well. Okay, the cylinder and the hemisphere kind of fit snugly on top of each other. So if the radius of the cylinder is 3, the radius of the hemisphere must be 3 as well. All right, so that's the radius of my hemisphere. I'll be able to get that. To get the height then of the cylinder, I need to just, I suppose, cut this bit off the 15. And this dimension here is also going to be a radius of that hemisphere. So it is also going to be 3. And if this is 15 and that's 3, then this bit here, just the height of the cylinder, is 12. All right, I have all my dimensions now, so I can just figure out the two volumes. So question says volume to the nearest centimeter cubed. So you can use 3.14, you can press the pi, but on the calculator it isn't going to make any difference. All right, so I'll use 3.14 here, multiplied by the radius of this cylinder is 3, so that is 3 squared multiplied by the height of just the cylinder, remember, is 12. So I'll do that on the calculator. 3.14 multiplied by 3 squared multiplied by 12 is 339.12. The volume of the sphere then, so that is 4 over 3 multiplied by, again, I'll use 3.14 for pi, multiplied by the radius of the hemisphere, in this case, is 3, and that's cubed. And then because it's a hemisphere, because it's not a full sphere, you multiply that sphere formula by a half. So again, it is just the full sphere formula, which is in your log tables. You need to know to get a hemisphere, you multiply that by a half. Let's plug all that into the calculator. So it's 4 over 3 multiplied by 3.14 multiplied by 3 cubed multiplied by a half, and that is 56.52. The volume of the overall shape then is just the cylinder, 339.12, plus the hemisphere, 56.52. That is 395.64. And rounded to the nearest whole number, that is 396, and it is centimeters cubed. Okay, just a couple of things to note here. The first is that I didn't round, it's nearest whole number is what I want my final answer to. I didn't round this down and I didn't round this up. The reason for that is, it doesn't happen here, but let's say that's 0.12 and that's 0.48. Well, if you round too early, you'd round that one down because it's 0.12, you'd round that one down because it's 0.48, and you'd end up with an answer of 395, say. If you did that, your answer will be off, because if that's 0.12 and that's 0.48, add them together, you'd get 0.6 and you'd end up rounding up. So just if you round too early in a question, you can end up throwing your answer off by 1, okay? So I would always just do that final rounding at the very end. So always go to 1 or 2 more decimal places than you're asked during the workings of a question, and then only do that final rounding to a whole number or 1 or 2 or 3 decimal places, whatever they want, at the very end. The other thing to say is they haven't asked us for the surface area here. I could be asked for the surface area of this shape, okay? If I was, there's a formula in the log tables for the curved surface area of a cylinder. So that would get me the curved surface area of the cylinder. There is a formula in the log tables for the curved surface area of a sphere. So you would use that and multiply it by 1/2. That would get you the curved bit down the bottom here. You'd have the curved bit around the side there. And then for the surface area of the entire shape, you would have just a flat circle on the top there. So you would need to add on the area of a circle, pi r squared, as well. As I said, we're not actually asked for it here, but you could be asked for it. So just covering that.